This is Sailing's weekly highlights show, The World on Water, April 25, 2025. These are videos released in the past 7 days, and we have been weekly since 2010. We paid tribute to all World War veterans this Anzac Day. At precisely 13:02 last Sunday, the 19 mixed duos taking part in the Transat Paprec set sail from Concarneau. After the emotional goodbyes on the pontoons, the fleet tackled a spectacular coastal course under a brooding grey sky, yet enjoyed mild sailing conditions, a north-westerly breeze of 10 to 15 knots, before heading into the Atlantic.
Ce qui me faisait rêver, donc de prendre le départ aujourd'hui, c'est un rêve qui devient réalité.
Il n'y a pas de comparable dans le milieu de la disarray. Rien lâché jusqu'à l'arrivée.
C'est mon bateau et c'est les marins qui vont faire la différence.
La bataille, c'est une vie.
Au départ aujourd'hui, c'est vraiment un rêve qui se règle.
Il y a plein de messages et des émotions et voilà. Merci. Ouais, c'est parti.
Avant que
On va s'en battre.
Another small clip on how the 18-footers round marks or fight for buoy room.
Better focus the absolute padding. Ready to go for drive, my name in a second. My name. Holding up, just going hard here guys, holding right up. Well, let's just go for drive, weight out, thanks. Ready to drive. Diving in 2, 1, pull main out, thanks. Yeah, row! Buoy row! Rounding up, thanks, your main. Main on hard.
Day 1 had 729 competitors from 56 nations. All 10 fleets were on the water, and the 31 races saw the next Olympic generation shining. The 56th edition of French Olympic Week, Semaine Olympique Française de Hier, Toulon-Provence, began in classic Côte d'Azur conditions as 729 competitors from 56 nations started 6 days of racing.
and Ineos pulled out, and now Alinghi have pulled out. And this was the statement issued either late Friday or early Saturday. I think I woke up to it on Saturday and put it on my Facebook page as a quote unquote. Despite all our efforts, we, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, have not been able to find agreement with the defender of the America's Cup for the future of the event. We would like to have seen more accountability, greater transparency, and new opportunities to perform not only individually, but as a group. That way we might, all of us together, could have delivered a commercially viable event capable of attracting global TV coverage, spectators, and sponsors, unquote. The team told Sail World in a written statement. Well, they told all of us. This I grabbed from Richard Gladwell and Sail World. Quote, so it is with great disappointment that we have begun an orderly wind down of the Alinghi Red Bull Racing team. Now, there's a lot to be unpacked there. One is I can tell you that Ernesto, first of all, to his everlasting credit, when they ran the 2007 Cup, of which our Superfozy Hamish Ross was a big part of it. He was my counterpart negotiating the protocol and so on back and forth, and Hamish was involved in that from the get-go. But Ernesto delivered a terrific event in Valencia in 07 with a number of cool lead-up regattas.
Yes.
And as he promised he would do, he raised a lot of money from the city, from sponsors and so on, and then split that money up, that revenue up, the proceeds up to the teams based on how they did in the Challenger Selection Series and ultimately the Cup. So his team got the big chunk. They won in 07. The Challenger was Team New Zealand. They got the second biggest chunk. The finalists of the other finalist was Prada. They got a chunk. We got a chunk. Oracle Team USA as a quarterfinalist, and down Shosholoza, even, who was at the bottom of the South African team, even they got a chunk of money. And that was the first and last time that's really happened.
And that made so much sense. Oh,
well, exactly, Julia. And he, Ernesto, was urging for that to happen again this time. Get everybody together, Grant. Don't use the event to fund your team. Fund your team privately.
Yes, as you should.
As you should. And then let all this money come together and spread it out among the teams. And you'll get more teams.
Yeah.
And they will benefit because they bring a lot to the event. It's the teams. Well, that wasn't happening, as you can see from this statement. That's what all this verbiage is about. Accountability, greater transparency, and new opportunities to perform not only individually, but as a group and deliver a commercially viable event. And there was big arguments going on in these Challenger meetings, one hears, for the last months, and that wasn't happening. Second thing that happened is they got the draft protocol. And I don't know if they sent it to me. I still don't know. Two teams sent it to me, and I don't know who those teams were. But I got, well, at least I assume it was from teams, because I got two copies of it. Both said, please don't show anybody because we think it's been watermarked and we don't want somebody to see a watermark that's on it that identifies our copy of it. So I have it. So all of you asked me for a copy of the protocol. No. I'm sorry, I'm not going to send it because I never reveal my sources, and I always do what my sources ask me to do, which is either don't report it or embargo it until a date down the road, or go public but don't show the document publicly, which, There is the third. I showed you these on the other day. There's the 37th edition. And then the copies that I received were the 37th revision marked, redlined, with all the revisions in red. And there is the cover of one of the two that I got. And it made it amazingly easy for me a week ago today to go through in the morning and look at all the changes. And one of the changes, as I told you then last Tuesday, was the so-called burling rule. I called it that, which is that anybody who sailed with a team in AC 37 had to sail with that same team in AC 38, irrespective of their national nationality. If Tom Slingsby, who's got an Australian passport, can't go sail with an Australian team in AC 38 because he sailed with New York Yacht Club in 37. And the big problem for the Swiss last time, as most of you will know, was that their sailing personnel were not up to snuff. Their design team, yeah, they had some problems with the boat, but who knows if it was operator error, or it was design error, combination of both when they were breaking rigs and so on and so forth. Point is, they needed to be able to get more people from outside of Switzerland in order to compete. In fact, the nationality rule was something we negotiated out of, when we were the Challenger of Record for 07, because Alinghi wanted to be able to recruit people far and wide, and they did, and they won. And so did the rest of the teams. And how many teams were there? There were a total of 13 teams in 2007, 12 teams?
Were there?
Yeah. 07 was a great event. There were a lot of teams.
I was
First
there.
time South Africa. You were there. And in Spain, and first time Germany, and Sweden, and on. So, it was a good event. And full marks to Mr. Bertarelli, not to be confused with Patrizio Bertelli, who is the team principal of Alinghi, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. So there's the protocol. I am not going to go into it again today, but it is croutonic. It is a putrid protocol, as I've called it. And Mr. Dalton and Mr. Green should both be embarrassed, because there are other provisions in it that make it so lopsided, so one-sided for the defender versus the rest of the challengers, that people are dropping out. I suspect Ben Ainsley is not going to be able to raise the money, and he too is going to drop out. I suspect. That is the Brits. And we'll see. But I'm not going to go into any more of that today. We're going to cover some more of that on Friday, because we want to talk about other things in our beloved sport besides the American side. We're all getting tired of it, because it's
the same story.
Yeah, it's the same old story.
This is not all Tom has to say on the subject, so follow Sailing Illustrated on Facebook and YouTube. Maui Pro-Am 2025 Opening Day delivers classic Ho'okipa Showdown Day 1 of the Maui Pro-Am 2025, presented by MFC Hawaii, lit up Ho'okipa with classic spring trade winds and a building swell that just kept getting better. With firing conditions from the start, the men hit the water first, 2 waves and 1 jump to count, and the pace was full throttle. Heats were quickly shortened as riders filled scorecards with ease. Some 230 of the UK's top young talents took part in the 2025 RYA Youth National Championships. UK Youth Champions were decided Friday the 18th of April in the ILCA 6, ILCA 7, for 20, 29er, NACRA 15 and IQ foil classes. The results are used to select the British youth sailing team, who will represent Great Britain at international regattas. This includes the Youth World Championships as well as the domestic youth squad for the year ahead.
Hello from Paheli for the final day of the RYA Youth National Championships, and you know what that means? It is medal race time, meaning that the pressure is building up for each and every one of these athletes. We've had a range of conditions throughout the week, but now we have some rain, but we also have some wind around 20 knots, slightly building possibly, so we're really excited to see who picks up those national championship titles. We're here on the medal race course. The 420 fleet have just finished. I think you might have got it, right?
Yeah, I think we're on the same points, but the medal race is a deciding race. So because we beat them in that race, we win the whole event.
It feels really, really good. Really good to end a week-long event on a high.
Papa, you've done amazingly throughout this week, leading for most of it, picking up 6 wins. How does it feel?
Amazing, just amazing. I've never had a regatta that's gone well consistently, so it's really good.
And finishing with a win.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
I'm not too sure. I just like sailing your own race and just kind of focused on your own boat speed and everything.
And there we have it, event wrapped up, and it was an absolute pleasure to head out on the water to talk with some of the winners. All classes completed their medal races, and it was awesome to see, as it was quite tough conditions, but all the athletes were pushing their boundaries and achieving their goals. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Meet the incredible Olympic sailors during the Semaine Olympique Française. The second stage of the Sailing Grand Slam taking place from the 19th to the 26th of April in Hyères, Toulon, Provence, France.
I'm Tom Ehman, sailing the NACRA 17 with Alex Rotenaz, and I'm steering the boat.
I'm Louise Motornaz. I was sailing 470 for many years, and now I just jump on the NACRA.
As you know, it's our challenge for this new campaign. We know each other since a long time now, but as friends, and now we are sailing together. So that's why we need to communicate a lot and to bring our experience from the Olympics to our new crew.
Yeah, it's very important to find a good balance for your family, friend, and to be happy in your project. It's really important to have to understand what you do, and of course to accept the fact that most of the time you are away. Most of our close by are in the sailing world for Tim and me, so it's much more easier as well because they really understand what we are living.
Hi, my name is Anna.
And I'm Simon.
And together we sail the 470 mixed dinghy.
For Germany.
Simon and I have known each other for quite a long time already, being training partners. But we only teamed up in 2022 to start the Paris 24 cycle. So what that also means is that we just didn't have time to look into many details. It was a match and it worked. But now with the new cycle coming up, it's a whole different story.
We set ourselves quite high goals for the Olympics 2024 in Paris, and we didn't achieve them. Like we had a dream of a medal. I think we could have also performed, but we just didn't make it. That's why the Olympics are sometimes a little different and a little special. But now, as we've got one Olympics in the bag, and we got another in 4 years, LA 2028 coming up, the target is to actually get the performance increase to be ready to win a medal. Yeah, it's not everyone can compete in a sport in this high level, and whilst there are a lot of sacrifices, I think it's worth every second to spend it in here, and we're here to live it.
I started kiting with my family, with my father and my brother, and I think I directly connected with this sport.